therapies tend to be focused on an outcome of getting rid of panic attacks or
Mm.
something of that nature. And acceptance and commitment therapy is focused more on what are your values, who's the me you want to be, and how are you going to choose to show up to each moment mindfully, open, aware, um, and willing to experience the discomfort that can come along with some of those things. And that was, I mean, ACT was just a complete game changer for me.
I'm excited to talk about ACT, but I want to kind of jump back to one thing you said, which is this idea of even these or other therapies were focused on kind of like the outcome of getting rid of panic attacks. And what I've noticed is that, like, that cliche of what we resist persist is really true. And
Yeah.
that sometimes in mindful parenting we teach tools to take care of our difficult feelings, and sometimes we engage with those tools. Even when we start to engage with those tools, even just with the intention to just get rid of those feelings, those difficult feelings, like the intention you said, the therapy of the outcome, getting rid of panic attacks, like they can just be even stickier because of just that
Mhm.
intention to get rid of. And I wonder if that's something you saw, in the work that you did.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my favorite metaphor for this that I think when people hear it, it's like this aha moment, like, oh, of course, is, if you think about if I were to hook you up to, say, an anxiety or stress detector machine, it's like a lie detector, but,
Mhm.
um, it detects your stress and anxiety. And I say to you, whatever you do, just don't get anxious and you'll be totally fine. But if you do get anxious, it's going to deliver a lethal shock and you're going to die. But just don't get anxious and you'll be totally fine. Right? You're laughing because you know that that is a sure prescription for death, right? And it's not because the stakes aren't high enough, because our lives are, the thing that we're most motivated to preserve. But if you think about what that means, you're now telling yourself about anxiety is you're saying, oh my God, this is bad. It's terrible. It's dangerous. I have to get rid of it. If I don't get rid of it, I'm going to die. And that's
Mhm.
precisely what people do with stress, anxiety, panic. A lot of the emotions that we have that are uncomfortable, that we prefer not to have, we start to tell ourselves that they're bad and they're dangerous and they're terrible and I have to get rid of it. And so now you're anxious about the anxiety. So you're anxious. So it's this paradox that as long as you're unwilling to have it, you're going to have it because
Mm.
you're anxious about anxiety. You're stressed about stress. And so then people will ask me, okay, great. So then if I'm willing to have it, then will it go away? Like, well, not quite. If you're unwilling to have it, it will be set on high no matter what. If you're willing to have it, then your emotions will do what emotions do, which is wax and wane and go up and down. And, because we're human beings and that's just the deal.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah. That's so helpful. I mean, as long as you're unwilling to have it, you will have it. And so it's asking a lot though, because that's kind of the basic human response is aversion or attraction, right? Like that's like the
Mhm.
basic animal response to kind of everything is like I'm attracted to this or I'm averse to this. And so we kind of move towards or we move away from things. And so we're asking ourselves to we're practicing and training ourselves to not be averse to something that feels uncomfortable, right?
That's exactly right. And where this is a difficult training to participate in because we are evolutionarily programmed to if you're having panic or anxiety, that is your body saying you're in danger. You
Mhm.
need to flee, right? And the problem is there's a lot of false alarms in terms of what, it's a perception. All you need is a perception of danger to feel panicky or anxious, but it doesn't mean the situation is actually dangerous. And in fact, um, and I think this is the most important thing I've learned in my own experience and that I really love to impart on other people is when you think about the stuff that makes you stressed or anxious or worried or whatever it is, like think about the last time you were laying awake at night, because we've all had that problem, right? Like in bed and the wheels are spinning. Is like what were you worrying about? And I bet you weren't worrying about whether there's going to be a season 2 of your favorite Netflix drama. Even though you might love that, even though it might be a great escape, it's not what you worry about because you don't
Wait,
care
no,
about
I want Bridgerton to come back. No, I'm just kidding.
You do, but do you worry about it at night? No, right? So you can like love it and, get a lot of joy of it. It's not keeping you up at night because it's not the thing you care about. The thing that keeps us up at night are our kids and partners and jobs and friendships. And it's the stuff that matters to us. And even if someone said, well, that's not what I worry about, I'm just worrying about the fact that I can't sleep. Okay, but why? What's so bad about you not being able to sleep? What are you afraid will be sacrificed tomorrow if you're not getting a full night's sleep? And then that's about work or family or relationships. And
Mm,
and so we have these emotions that are telling us run and hide, danger, danger. When in fact, but that's a false alarm a lot of the times, when in fact what they're really telling us is this is like a bright red neon arrow pointing at exactly what you care about. Because
mm,
if you didn't care about it, you wouldn't feel stressed or anxious about it.
mm. And
And so
so,
instead, like that's a good reason or a good motivation to maybe consider leaning in
mm.
instead of that instinctual running away.
Catch new episodes of the Mindful Mama podcast and other free resources, including the Mindful Mom Guide at mindfulmamamentor.com. You can listen to every back catalog episode, including interviews with Dr. Dan Siegel, Ianla Van Zant, Sharon Salzberg, and get meditations, join our private Facebook group, and more. Go to mindfulmamamentor.com now. I'll see you there.